Hey guys, it's AngryJoe here, and I'm with Victor from Neocore Games, who is going to give us a little bit of exclusive footage for the game Warhammer 40K Inquisitor Martyr. Thank you so much for showing. Now, obviously realize that this is a very, very pre-alpha tech demo. We're talking super, super early, and I'm so thankful you're even showing this to me. So keep in mind that a lot of these animations are placeholder, but I'll let you talk about it, Victor.
Well, hello, and well, you're welcome, and it's absolutely great to have you here. And yes, this is a pre-alpha tech demo of our upcoming game, and what you see here is our Crusader type Inquisitor, our tank type Inquisitor, running all over on the decks of a haunted spaceship, controlled by my esteemed colleague David, who is the glorious fist of the Emperor this time, and he's showing you how we deal with heretics on this ship.
Oh, nice. What was that? That was the plasma?
That was a plasgun,
yeah.
And as you can see it here, this is an action RPG in the classical sense, so the camera angle, the movement, the basics are classic action RPG elements. And as you can see it right now, there are covers in this game, and these covers can be destroyed. The monsters, well, this time the mutants on the ship, they use the covers. Covers can be destroyed gradually. You just heard the sound of the lovely buzzing sound of the chainsaw. This is one of my favorite sounds.
Die, heretic.
Yeah, he paid the price. So
this is cool. It's almost like a, a ARPG Diablo kind of thing. So is there going to be loot that we encounter along the way?
Eventually there will be, yes. This is a very rough build, so we don't have loot yet. This is a Warhammer 40K action RPG, which means that you can't expect to have the same loot system as in Diablo, for example, or our own Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. It won't happen that, for example, little Nurglings are going to throw Space Marine armor.
Yeah,
but
Aquilas or something
but we have our system to deal with the issue.
Enemy variety, is there going to be good enemy variety in the game?
We are going to use everything what we can from the lore, which means that, yes, Inquisitors sooner or later are going to face every known threat.
And these enemies will act differently, like some of the humans that might use cover more versus the demons that don't care, they'll just run after you.
When we say that we want to have a more tactical approach, this is also part of the decision, which means that instead of throwing at you hundreds and hundreds of creatures, we are going to use smaller groups, but these groups are going to have leaders, they are going to have their own patterns of behavior, and this is also a factor of the particular race of your enemy. So demons are going to act differently
and have different abilities.
This absolutely
looks freaking awesome.
This is.
I want that armor now.
What we see here is one of the stages of progression for the Crusader type Inquisitor.
Nice.
Inquisitors, well, they usually start out as useful members of the Imperium of Man, and then later they become Inquisitors. So in this case, we can see the traces of the former Crusader who became an Inquisitor. So,
and is that a shield there on that? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, it is. Look, because it just changed. Do we have a blocking system and a shield?
The Crusader is going to be the tank type character, the character who can use melee weapons, shields to protect himself, but he's capable of using ranged weapons as well, as we saw earlier. So he is the guy that you are going to send into the thick of the battle.
Nice.
And now you can see the
Ooh,
progression, how he is becoming more powerful and how he is climbing higher
within the ranks.
in the ranks
of
of the
power.
Inquisition. So the outlook of the character will represent your power level, if I can say so.
And
this
are we customizing these in the sense that are these different armors attached to, say, your character's level, or are we finding these armors? Well, I guess you can't really. They wouldn't make sense to find armor in the world, but they could be assigned to you.
This is one of the challenges when you are creating a game set in the 40K universe. The answer is that your progression somewhat defines your visual representation, but still your armor plates, your equipment can be customized to a certain extent.
So when you see somebody, you're going to be able to tell in a blink of an eye how badass he is, or if he's high level.
I think this is one of the cornerstones of the 40K universe, that the more powerful you are, the more badass you are going to look.
Ribbons and symbols and sigils and all sorts of cool stuff. So what other classes are? Well, you're probably not allowed to talk about it, but we will be seeing other classes besides the Crusader, and they will play differently.
Now I can only tell you that much. Different classes have different skills, different. They require different tactics to play with, and they are going to represent a very different approach to being an Inquisitor.
Okay.
In Inquisitor Martyr, we are going to introduce our very own sandbox corner of the universe, our own sector. This sector draws in heretics and inquisitors in large numbers. It's a very special place for various reasons. And in the game, both in the story mode and in the Inquisitorial Campaign, you are going to represent the Emperor, one of the Emperor's secret agents, an Inquisitor. And first of all, this Inquisitor here, the Crusader type Inquisitor, is just one of the various classes we have in the game. So your choice of class is going to have an effect on the gameplay itself. Because different Inquisitors have different kinds of.
And this is the Crusader version.
Yes.
He's got a little more heavy armor. To him,
heavily armored. He has a bolter. He has a plus gun. Now you can see how he's destroying the environment, and he has a chainsword. The other Inquisitor classes are going to have a different approach to being an Inquisitor.
Nice. So it's not just go inside of a ship every time. There's lots of different. You go on a planet.
Yes.
You can go into the ships. Now, do we ever rescue anybody or get special missions?
Absolutely.
Could you talk about that Inquisitorial Campaign you were talking?
Yeah, absolutely. In Inquisitor Martyr, we have a story mode, which is a single-player experience. It's a string of battle maps, like the one you see here, tied to a specific plot. And we have an open-world sandbox game mode, which is the Inquisitorial Campaign, where you have battle maps like here, but they are not tied to a specific plot. They are tied to the sector itself.
Nice.
You are going to be.
How big is this sector?
Oh, it's huge. It's like a very, very typical Warhammer 40K sector.
Well, that's massive. There could be
massive.
Hundreds and hundreds of different systems.
Star systems, thousands of planets, different subsectors.
Are they going to have any void storms where places open up only temporarily and then kind of disappear forever?
We are going to create a sector which is very much alive. It means that we don't want to scale up the threat level to the players level. We want to have a sector where, oh yeah, you could just see how pieces fall off this nice guy. So yeah, we are going to have various parts of the system which will be only opened up gradually, and we will have corners of this sector which are very, very, very dangerous places. We are going to allow characters to enter those very those dangerous zones, and we are going to show players the hard way that sometimes you need to get stronger.
You can't handle it. You have to come back later. You have to play other missions in other areas of that sector. Are there going to be events or any special things like that you guys will do in that sector? And what are the enemies that we're... So, what are some of the enemies that we fight in Martyr?
In the story mode, we have the plot focusing on the chaos god Nurgle and its
That's the
acolyte.
one with the plague and pestilence and
That's right.
testicles. Tentacles.
Well, you know,
and testicles too.
There aren't huge differences, but yeah, the chaos god of pestilence. This is what the story mode is focusing on. But in the Inquisitorial Campaign, gradually we are going to introduce all the races and all the threats.
All the races?
Yeah.
So we're gonna possibly see orcs. We're gonna see Eldar, Dark Eldar.
Definitely. Yeah.
And Necrons. Like,
well,
man, that was...
it's a bit too early to
I
tell
guess
about when and how the
would
various
all these races
will
be in one area
but
of the
I
universe?
have to tell you this is a sandbox sector where we have incorporated everything that a proper Warhammer 40K sector should have, and we added our own elements. For example, this sector in the Inquisitorial Campaign has its own ongoing storyline, which is something that you, as the player, can have an influence on. For example, there will be certain events in the sector. It is a chain of missions which allows you to take certain sides in a conflict. And let's say that there is a planet where the orcs have started to appear, and not so far in the same system you have the Dark Eldar planning something. Time is short, so you have to decide which actual threat are you going to deal with. And if you deal with the orcs, or if you deal with the Dark Eldar, it has a consequence, because this is not an MMO, but still we are going to monitor the choices that players took individually, and then we will see what the majority decided on. So if the majority of the players decided to eliminate the Dark Eldar, that will leave the orcs to to continue their raids.
So yeah, that's so it's a living, breathing kind of world, and you guys will be constantly adding new content to this
we are
Inquisitorial mode. Now, this is getting me really excited. Obviously, it's super early. Is there multiplayer? Can I have my own Inquisitor and bring him into my buddy's game, and we can go into a really hard sector and fight really hard enemies?
Yes. So the story mode is a single-player experience only, because it tells you a story which has a lot in common with the traditional horror stories, but this time you are an Inquisitor. So a ghost ship is something that gives you a new challenge, but it won't kill you because you are an Inquisitor of the Emperor. This is a single-player game mode, but in the Inquisitorial Campaign, you have the cooperative option, up to 4 players. So
cool.
It means that you can have your friends, and they can join you when you are facing a very tough challenge. And with the different classes, like the cooperative gameplay can represent all the different aspects of the Inquisition. So your troop, your cooperative gameplay mode can have different Inquisitors with different approaches.
Nice.
And different gameplay styles. So in the Warhammer 40K universe, Inquisitors are extremely powerful agents of the Emperor, which means that they can have, well, their own followers, their own Inquisitorial retinue, and we are going to give players the chance to build their own Inquisitorial retinues. And well, these groups need a headquarters, and we are going to introduce the Inquisitorial Fortresses. An Inquisitorial Fortress is the place where an Inquisitor stashes his or her items.
Nice. It's like your house.
It's his or her safe haven.
Right.
And it also gives us the perfect opportunity to introduce the indirect PvP to the game, because this is not an MMO. There won't be a direct PvP in this game. But the Inquisition looks united. But in the shadows, there are all these orders, all these philosophies squabbling over plenty of things. And we wanted to incorporate that particular element as well. It means that, well, we can't have Inquisitors fighting each other because they don't do that openly. But still, Inquisitors can attack each other's fortresses, which means that
the indirect PvP.
Yeah, they are fighting indirectly. This is
What would be the purpose of attacking somebody else's fortress?
Well, it's a bit too early to talk about details because this is something that we are really, really focusing on, and we want to do it. Well, we will incorporate it when we feel that we found the best way,
the best mechanics for it.
To deal
and
with
this
it.
isn't gonna be nothing like mobile game with timers and you're creating things in your fortresses with microtransaction bullshit. No. Okay, good.
we are thinking about presenting challenges for other Inquisitors, and these challenges will be created by you.
Nice.
You are going to set up these challenges for the other players who would like to get your loot, who would like to steal your secrets. But this is way too early to talk about any specifics. But this is the core idea.
Yeah. So there's to sum it up, we've got an interesting storyline that focuses more on horror elements and finding what happened on this ghost ship that had disappeared for many years, and so there's a beginning, middle, and end there with some storyline elements, maybe some cutscenes, here and there.
Absolutely, there will be cutscenes, there will be dialogues. We are going to use the traditional storytelling.
Nice, and then you have a basically never-ending or hundreds and hundreds of hours Inquisitorial campaign sector map where there's constantly new content that you guys plan to add
Imagine
to
it as a giant star map where various missions pop up that you can accept. You can go there, and then you enter a battle map like this one.
But and you can do it with your Inquisitor buddies.
Yes, and we were talking about diversity. So there will be different kinds of battle maps, and there will be different kinds of missions. So not only it won't be all about killing.
Yeah, just go heretics. And shoot
there will be
dead.
rescue missions. There will be instances when you have to find someone, retrieve someone, kill a specific monster. There will be plenty of diversity.
Finding artifacts and things like that.
That's right. And we also have the events that I already talked about, chains of missions where you can take sides, and we are going to have the investigations. Investigations are basically random generated stories where you try to dig deeper into one particular mystery. Into
So there's like
a
little
problem.
dynamic storylines with
Yes,
these
yes.
Inquisitor
And
investigations.
each decision will take you to a battle map where you deal with a certain kind of situation, and the result might lead you to another piece of the puzzle. So in the investigation mode is something that gives us opportunity to create mini storylines in this world. But the sector is going to be unlocked gradually. It's going to be filled up with content. There will be content patches, DLCs, and large expansion
really cool.
packs coming your way. And yes, we are fairly certain that we can keep this sandbox sector, the Caligari sector, alive for a very, very long time, for hundreds of hours.
Yeah, and as far as as an ARPG, we are leveling our character up. We're getting more and more powerful armor and relics and abilities and just cool shit like that.
Yes, that covers it. And there will be a crafting system as well.
Oh, nice.
And there will be various options tied to various characters that make them unique. Like a Crusader type Inquisitor has his own passive skill tree. The other classes will have their own passive skill trees, which means that there won't be characters who look alike. They are all going to be unique.
That's going to be awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for showing us this super early, guys. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is placeholder, and but it's already looking really cool. And what you're talking about, like this unlimited universe where new events can open up or close up, is really, really cool and interesting, especially if you plan to put, the different races from the lore, because the lore is so rich here. I mean, I want to see Sisters of Battle, because they tie in a little bit to the Inquisition.
We have huge plans for Inquisitor Martyr, so rest assured that sooner or later we are going to include all the good bits from the 40K universe.
So when is this game coming out, and what systems are you hoping for it to be on?
It will be a PC first, and then we are going to launch it on consoles as well.
Oh, wow.
Cool. And next year.
So thank you so much for showing us this, Victor. I'm really excited. I'm obviously a huge 40K fanatic and nut, and it's just really interesting to see the insides of these places that we've never seen before, and then obviously become an Inquisitor himself and go on these missions, because I find that stuff really fascinating, and burning and killing heretics and discovering what's going on. Are we ever able to, like, I hate to ask you this because, I'm sure everybody knows, but Inquisitors have the power of exterminatus, right? Can we blow or, judge an entire planet and wipe it from the sector?
Well, this
probably wouldn't be very fun, but it would be awesome, Victor.
This is a great question, because it is exactly the thing that I would love to see somewhere along the line.
The nuclear option.
That you need to have moral choices in this universe. In this grim, dark future, sometimes Inquisitors have to make impossible decisions, and the Exterminators is one of those decisions. So, at this stage, it's too early to say anything specific. I can only say that, yes, I would love to see the Inquisitors being put into this kind of position.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Victor, for taking the time to show us this stuff this early. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and definitely keep your eyes out on this one if you're into action RPGs and the world of Warhammer 40K. All right, guys, see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye-bye.
Through pain and fire, I came here to purge the unclean. I am the mailed fist of the Emperor. I am the end.